In the beginning of the film, we see a car with a burst tire. There are 6 people in it. They are friends and going to a birthday party. They are 6 friends, 3 girls, 3 boys. The one who gets her head hit is Jodie, and the other girl who is in pink is Sarah, and the other girl who is in green is Karen. If we talk about boys, in a blue shirt is Jeff, in a grey shirt he is Todd, and in a white shirt is Eric. They all are going on Jodie's sister's birthday, which is being celebrated in a remote area. In the start, everything looks good and there's nothing suspicious. They don't know what is going to happen on this road. Todd is the car owner and he tries to change the tire of the car with the help of other 2 males, which is not a difficult task at all. Even in this situation, Sarah tries to take a selfie and wants to post on social media. But there is a signal problem in this remote area. Finally, she succeeds to get some signals and posts her picture on the social media. Jodie and Karen take cover behind the car because the weather is very hot. On the other hand, Eric is going outside to pee and he finally managed to get some bushes. Other friends are chatting and Jeff managed to replace the tire of the car. Then his tire gets to roll and he tries to pick up the tire and accidentally he saw a bullet on the road. He was shocked to see the bullet. The other friends are chatting. Then Todd notices that the tire of the car is rolled on the road and he chases it. On the other hand, Sarah wants to have a look on the tire which has been replaced, and she was shocked to see Jeff, who died horribly. She remained silent and even could not utter a word. Todd was not aware of the situation. In the meantime, Sarah was hit by a shot from nowhere. Still, Karen and Jodie were not aware of the threat. Sarah's eyeball was pierced by a bullet, and at that moment she was hit by another shot. Karen looks here and there, but she did not know where from the bullet come. She shouts and tells her friend to cover behind the car. Todd, who was not aware of the situation, was shot in his shoulder. Eric, who was far from the car, had to take cover behind the tree trunk. They were being shot non-stop and they had to only take cover behind the car. Nobody knew this would happen after the tire burst, and this was a trap set by the shooter. After an hour, they all were very confused. Karen, who belongs to military family, she thinks that the shooter is far behind because the bullets could not penetrate the car, and the shooter has used silencers to reduce the noise. Todd was very weak because his left shoulder was shot. Eric had to keep himself behind the tree trunk. The bolts of the car tire were not tightened, so they need another plan to get themselves out of this situation if they want to be alive. Then Karen says there might be signals on 3 meters away from them, so that they might get some help. For this task, Todd was ready. They all were hoping for the best. Now Todd was ready to do this task. Karen was trying to get some help from 911. He tries to get some signals of the mobile doing this. Todd was trying his best to get some signals. At the meantime, his hand was shot. They were trying to get some help from 911, but his hand was shot by a psychopath who was sitting far behind the tree. Todd comes with another plan. He wants to set the gear of the car on neutral so that they might get the position where the signal are. And was in the rear holding a fake scarecrow. Todd will try to open the car door and shift the gears into neutral. At the moment the scarecrow was shot, then Todd got into the car while trying to attach the keys. But due to being shot continuously, he needed to hide fast and did not have time to change the gear to neutral. The good news is that the Jodie was able to track down the source of the shot, and it was discovered that the gunman was hiding in a tree. It was obvious that someone with a sniper was hiding in that tree. What this person means is also unclear. That is clear is he is already in the tree and for such a long time. Then Toad, who's still not able to change the gear into neutral, tried to find protective equipment. Luckily, he saw his toolbox in the back of the car. Eric could only surrender and did not know the plans of his friends. Immediately ordered Karen and Jody to take position in such a short time. Toad immediately got into the car and managed to set the car gear to neutral. Unfortunately, he had to be hit by a shot in the hand. Then the car moved downhill immediately. Karen and Jody can't do much, but still try as much as possible to hold the car. In the end, the tires of the car that had not been bolted on were directly shot and made the car stop. At the main point, Karen realized this was the right time for Jody to run from there, because the shooter was reloading his bullets. At the same time, Eric tried to escape from his position, but he was shot before Jody. Well, as a result, Eric could not go anywhere else with the condition of his legs that had been shot on both of them. With such conditions, Eric should have been shot to death. However, the shooter deliberately let Eric suffer. A bottle of water still left in the car seat. Even though they are all thirsty, they try to share as much as possible in difficult situations like this. Eric, who was just about to take a sip of water, was shot in the hand and suffered even more. In fact, that long-distance psychopath is also human who feel thirsty or hungry. Then Toad, who saw his girlfriend being eaten by a crow, accepts it. He was determined to walk over the Sarah who had died in the middle of the road. But surprisingly, the mysterious shooter did not shoot Toad. In fact, Toad still had time to kiss his girlfriend and hold her hand. On the other hand, Eric, who was already dying, saw a wolf approaching him. If it's like this, Eric immediately surrendered because the wolf will devour him alive. Meanwhile, Toad, who challenged the shooter, accidentally saw a passing car from distance. Of course, this is a rare occurrence with such a small chance. Unfortunately, Toad was shot at the point, causing the wolf not to eat Eric. Toad had no chance but to die right there in front of his girlfriend's body. At that moment, the car's driver saw Karen and Jody waving. However, the woman's hand was shot and the bullet went straight through the ring finger. As a result, blood splattered all over the place. It became even worse when the steering wheel became uncontrollable. Then the car crashed into the Toad's car that was in front of him and caused Jeff's head to fall off his body. As a result, Karen and Jody's only hope vanished into instant. The woman who was driving the car started to wake up. However, not long after that, she was hit by several shots from the shooter. Here we can also see the man who tries to save his thrown daughter. Karen and Jody keep yelling to him to stay covered behind the car at a moment. Like this, Karen told the father call 911. Apparently, the position of the father was already in an area that received signal coverage. The shooter, who did not know where the father was, started shooting at the car tank until it leaked. In the end, the car exploded. There was no longer protection for the father. You can see for yourself slowly the father had to die with burning body. Meanwhile, across the street, the daughter was still awake with full of wound. The moment she just woke up, the long-distance psychopath shot the dad's head until it burst. From these few minutes, instead of getting better, Karen and Jody had to watch death after death with got worse. They all are confused. The shooter continued to monitor the location and did not miss a second. Then Karen, who was ready with a cutter, planned to tear some of the seats in the car. On the other hand, Jody took a bottle of gasoline, a bag containing clothes and drink box that she found in the back trunk. Luckily, there was still 2 drinks in the box and they drank immediately. After that, Jody took t-shirt after t-shirt that was in bag to be used as an emergency mask. Without a delay, Jody immediately poured a bottle of gasoline into the car seat and Karen set the fire to the newspaper with a lighter. In the end, car started to catch fire and release smoke. However, the smoke still was not enough to give them a chance to escape. The long-distance psychopath started to get annoyed because his visibility was getting unclear. But suddenly Karen saw a police car approaching their location. This indicates that the 911 call that the father called has been successfully connected and traced. In fact, the police also brought two snipers who were ready to spy on the shooter's presence. Then the police who had just arrived realized the situation, that this location was not good. Therefore, he asked the state police for additional assistance. But again, the jaw of the mouth was hit by a shot from that mysterious person right then and there. Unfortunately, again the policeman was lying in the position of driver's seat, and he accidentally stepped on the pedal at the car. From the opportunity, Karen immediately asked Jody to run, but Jody refused, and because she still did not have the courage. Like it or not, Karen had to run alone, and unfortunately smoke was starting to thin out. At the moment, she was shot and died on the spot. Now, the police, who had been 4, had now become the 2. At that time, Jody was determined to run to the police car, which was not far away. At that moment, there was a shootout in which mystery shooter was clearly better than the police. Then Jody, who had no other choice, immediately took the police car. She planned to crash into the only tree that the shooter took as a cover. Amazingly, Jody managed to do this and made the shooter fall from the tree. Jody immediately woke up and tried to pick up the fallen rifle. But who he is actually. The urgency of the situation made Jody scared and rushed. At that moment, she shot the man many times until he died on the spot. Still not satisfied, it took Jody one more shot to shoot the mysterious man in the head. However, while reloading the bullet, the cock of the gun suddenly stuck. Like it or not, Jody then hit the man with the tip of the gun until his face was destroyed. Then Jody saw some scratches on the rifle. You could say this lines marks how many victims have been shot dead on this road. As a farewell, Jody wanted to hit the man on the head one more time, but unfortunately the gun cocked and shot Jody in the neck. It's really irritating to see. That's how the movie ends.